NASA just confirmed SpaceX will service Hubble Space Telescope. Recently, it was revealed that NASA and SpaceX had entered into a Space Act agreement to investigate the viability of using the Crew Dragon to reboost and perhaps maintain the Hubble Space Telescope. Those who value science and space exploration will be happy to hear this. In the more than 30 years that Hubble has scanned the cosmos, it has delivered an amazing amount of scientific data, not to mention stunning photos. What do you think? Will this be viable? Let's find out. Hello everyone and welcome back to Elon Musk Evolution, where we bring you the most recent news about Elon Musk and his multi-billion-dollar companies. But before we begin, make sure you subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of our amazing videos. And let's get started. NASA built the Hubble Space Telescope to be maintained by the Space Shuttle. The choice was fortunate because it was discovered that the Hubble's mirror had a fault shortly after it was launched in 1990. The problem was addressed and various other improvements were put into place during the maiden shuttle service voyage in 1993. A total of 5 Hubble service missions were carried out by NASA, with the final one taking place in 2009, not long before the Space Shuttle program came to an end. For as long as possible, NASA intended to use the Hubble. The 6 gyroscopes on the Hubble have all failed, and 3 of them, according to Ars Technica, are progressively degrading the orbit of the Space Telescope. By the end of this decade, according to NASA, the Hubble Space Telescope will have to be shut down and re-entered into Earth's atmosphere under controlled conditions. The SpaceX Commercial Crew program, which took over from the Space Shuttle to transport people to and from the International Space Station, is currently in its 3rd presidential term. The first commercial crew flights took conducted in the final year of the Trump administration after a rocky start caused by the political gaffes by the Obama administration and opposition from Congress. Currently, SpaceX's Crew Dragon is not only maintaining humans on board the International Space Station, but it has also begun to do private trips like last year's Inspiration 4. Additionally, the much-delayed Boeing Starliner is expected to begin launching to the ISS in 2023. In the midst of a flourishing commercial space economy, SpaceX and philanthropist and billionaire Jared Isaacman made NASA an intriguing offer to investigate the viability of deploying a Crew Dragon to relaunch and possibly maintain the Hubble Space Telescope. A 6-month study for just such a trip will be carried out thanks to a contract inked by NASA and SpaceX. Isaacman already provided funding for the Inspiration 4 mission, which helped St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital raise a staggering sum of money. The first Crew Dragon mission of his Polaris program, a series of Crew Dragon missions, is due to launch in March 2023. The Hubble Space Telescope might be visited by a Polaris mission in the future. At the briefing, Thomas Zurbuchen, NASA's Associate Administrator for Science, stated, "We want to know what the options are. Commercial partnerships we have found have opened the door to new and exciting prospects for NASA, scientific and technology exploration, by offering new ideas and inventive ways to support them," the statement reads. The basic idea is for a Crew Dragon spacecraft to connect with Hubble, possibly by using a capture device set up during the final shuttle maintenance mission in 2009, and then raise its orbit. According to Patrick Krause, project manager for the Hubble Space Telescope at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, that orbit gradually degraded due to air drag, and it is now at a distance of around 535 kilometers. By 2037, there's a 50% chance that Hubble will re-enter the atmosphere due to ongoing degradation. The famous Space Telescope's lifespan could be extended by 15 to 20 years if NASA permits a Crew Dragon mission to the Hubble. For the benefit of furthering science and inspiring the general public, that translates to an additional 20+ years worth of amazing photographs and helpful science. One objective of such a mission, according to him, would be to increase Hubble's orbit back to 600 kilometers, where it was when it was first launched from the shuttle more than 3 decades ago. "You'd easily add 15 to perhaps 20 years of orbit life to the mission," he continued, "if we were to get back to 600 kilometers. NASA anticipates that Hubble will continue to operate until the end of the decade and maybe into the beginning of the following one. It's still in good working order. Both NASA and SpaceX, however, stated that they would at the very least take into account the possibility of performing some sort of servicing on the telescope while on such a voyage. Krause stated, "We wouldn't anticipate being at the level of complexity of some of the servicing missions that were achieved with the shuttle and NASA astronaut teams from the past, but we're thrilled to look at what options are available with our commercial partners. According to Jessica Jensen, Vice President of Customer Operations and Integration at SpaceX, the study will last around 6 months. Part of it's going to be finding out the cost and figuring out a little bit of the schedule, what it's going to take to make this happen and make it happen safely, she added. The technical elements of a reboost or servicing mission will be the study's main area of attention, she said. She noted that everything was up for discussion, including whether astronauts would be required for the expedition. There will be many difficulties with a private reboost and servicing trip to Hubble. Any crew using the Space Telescope will need to be careful with it because it is a delicate instrument. For months of preparation, the crews of the space shuttles that performed Hubble servicing flights made sure they wouldn't harm the telescope. There would be some risk involved in a private operation. However, if NASA and SpaceX work together to launch a Hubble mission, the prudence of commercializing space flight would have been demonstrated once more. Commercial rockets already supply and staff the International Space Station for a fraction of the price of NASA's Space Shuttle. It is a convincing idea to extend the Hubble Space Telescope's useful life by 2 decades for a small portion of the price of a Space Shuttle servicing flight. If NASA and SpaceX move through with a trip, it may be a component of the Polaris program, a plan that Isaacman and SpaceX unveiled earlier this year for a number of crewed flights on Crew Dragon and subsequently Starship to evaluate the viability of human spaceflight. The first Polaris trip, Polaris Dawn, which is currently set for the first quarter of 2023, will be piloted by Isaacman, who oversaw the private Inspiration 4 Crew Dragon flight last year. The first spacewalk from a Crew Dragon spacecraft would take place during the voyage. Even while SpaceX has a lot of experience carrying out Dragon missions to the International Space Station, it hasn't yet tried any form of satellite reboost or maintenance. The development of robotic in-space service technology is being done concurrently by a number of businesses. Northrop Grumman's Mission Extension Vehicle is one illustration. 2 of these vehicles are connected to Intelsat communication satellites in geostationary orbit to prolong their lifespan. Zurbuchen said when asked how NASA would evaluate those additional satellite servicing alternatives, "We at NASA would look at any or all solutions that are in the interest of the taxpayer." An anonymous industry insider said NASA should explore potential service options in a more formal manner than the existing contract with SpaceX. The process would begin with a request for information asking businesses for suggestions on how to restart or maintain Hubble. NASA representatives defended the recent report. According to Kathy Luders, Associate Administrator for Space Operations at NASA, "It's not rare to go undertake feasibility studies when folks come in with ideas for things that would help us." Zurbuchen continued, "We're working on insane things all the time. We must carry out that task. Hope you're with me. We're always expected to push the limits." In the future, humans returning to the moon on personal lunar landers like the SpaceX Starship will be able to build telescopes on its surface, starting with the Lunar Crater Radio Telescope. Such telescopes would extend human understanding of the heavens and inspire awe and amazement. They would also become even greater windows through which this knowledge can flow. And that's it for today's video, guys. We sincerely hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please click on the like button and share with your friends and family. And if you have any questions or comments, you can always share them with us in the comment space below. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see even more of our incredible videos, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.